Cory Kenshin is a popular gaming YouTuber that has amassed over 24 million subscribers, starting in 2009 and becoming popular for his funny and exciting personality and gameplays while staying true to his character all these years later. Cory is also a family-friendly content creator, never using profanity in his videos and censoring profane speech and adult content, which makes it all the more unsettling when you learn what I am about to tell you. If you aren't familiar with Cory Kenshin, he has a series on YouTube called Cooking with Kenshin, a show where he cooks different meals as a way to help him learn on his journey to become the best chef. He's made a bunch of different meals such as cheeseburgers, pancakes, spaghetti, and even dessert. In-universe, Cory actually plays a character called Chef Kenshin, and he is the person that the show follows. In every episode, there's a segment where Chef Kenshin washes the dishes in order to prepare making food because he seems to never wash them before filming. It's a pretty unassuming and nice intermission for the viewer, and starting in episode 2, these intermissions even provide fun facts about Chef Kenshin. Except, these facts start to unveil a dark truth about Chef Kenshin over the course of the show. In episode 2, we learn that Chef Kenshin was born in Detroit, Michigan, a basic fact that can give the audience a bit more of a connection with him by learning about him. In episode 3, we learn that Chef Kenshin was arrested for stealing bread in 1984. A kind of funny but weird fact to bring up considering that these are supposed to build a connection with the star of the show. And then in the very next episode, it's revealed to us that Chef Kenshin isn't really who he is. That is super ominous, but these segments go even deeper in the following episodes, blatantly giving us facts like Chef Kenshin hiding bodies around his house and him being a convicted felon. Chef Kenshin is, at least according to the show, a bad person and should not be taken lightly. But this is all common knowledge if you've watched the series, and this is probably just a bit inspired by that weird thing YouTubers did in the 2010s where they had a dark alter ego, and beyond that, there isn't really anything noteworthy to talk about. But I do have one question. Why would a production studio want their cooking show to star a highly wanted murderer? The Cooking with Kenshin show is framed as a production with a live studio audience. Although I'm not sure where this audience even sits considering the quote-unquote set is just Chef Kenshin's apartment or house. And while we're here, let's establish everything we know about Chef Kenshin's background. We know that he was born in Detroit, Michigan in the US. He was arrested for stealing bread in 1984 and has been wanted for murder since 1994, which must mean he's at least middle-aged. Chef Kenshin has also been wanted in 12 countries, is a convicted felon, has had bodies found in his attic, and apparently people that have come to know him end up going missing. Chef Kenshin also has a boss named Bobby, who I can only assume to be the producer and person who runs the show. Throughout the series, we get quite a bit of lore about Bobby. We know that he's a stickler when it comes to making sure things go smoothly, and honestly, he has a bit of an abusive relationship with Chef Kenshin.
Hello?
Where the freak have you been, you idiot? I've been calling you all the... Where have you been?
Bobby, I'm at work right now. I'm doing the freaking...
I don't care. You answer the phone when I call you, okay?
Yeah.
Alright? Huh? You work for me.
That's what I'm saying. You...
No, I'm big, you're small, I'm right and you're wrong, and there's nothing you can do about
Bobby,
it.
you would just let me explain.
Explain what?
He even fired Chef Kenshin in episode 3, only to rehire him in episode 6. But despite that, the show continued to be produced, and Bobby even had things running while Chef Kenshin was technically not rehired, as proof in episode 5 when Bobby pushes him to begin the show.
Hello? What the freak have you been doing, man? It's been 4 weeks!
I just lost track of time. I was leveling up my vault.
Look, I don't want to hear it. Cooking with Kenshin, remember?
Yeah, I know about the Cooking with Kenshin.
At 800K, how many subs you got now? What?
I know we passed 1 million.
Well,
I was supposed to do it at 800K.
Look, I don't want to hear it, alright? Don't say anything else.
Yes, boss.
Clean yourself up,
Okay.
you hobo.
Why would Bobby rehire this man and pretend to not be working on his own show if he presumably knows about Chef Kenshin's criminal record since it's shown in the editing of the show? Someone on the production team had to go in and add these fun facts in post to warn the viewers about Chef Kenshin. If Bobby runs the show, then he would have had to overlook these edits before the episodes aired on YouTube. This puts a very suspicious light on Bobby, and it's not hard to see why he would also be a villain in this story considering his temper and even violent threats to his star. But let's not come to conclusions yet because I think there are two important questions that have to be addressed. Who is telling us about Chef Kenshin's real self, and why? I want to debunk the first question because I think there will probably be some people saying, "Oh, Chef Kenshin has some supernatural abilities to control the show," or "he's secretly going in and editing the episode himself without anyone looking." I don't think that's a possibility, and while there are times where Chef Kenshin is acting very creepy in front of the camera and seems threatening, there's no evidence to suggest that he's really able to tamper with the final editing. There are multiple instances of Chef Kenshin requesting Bobby to not include certain bits in the final cut of the episodes, or he'll threaten to enact violence on him, usually.
Them suckers not gonna know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Let's take that off. Hold on. Give me a little shake. Bobby, if I find this clip in a video, I'm slicing your throat in your sleep.
But these bits always stay in the episode regardless of Chef Kenshin's request, so it must be Bobby that has the final say on what makes it into the episode. In fact, Chef Kenshin actually seems to be scared of Bobby. Whenever Bobby calls him, Chef Kenshin is always apprehensive about picking up the call, so clearly when it comes to power dynamics, Bobby is always on top. But what if it's possible that Chef Kenshin himself asks Bobby to tell the audience about his criminal past? I don't see this as a possibility either, since we just established that Bobby has very little interest in satisfying Chef Kenshin's demands unless the show has a reason to benefit from it, like when Bobby officially rehires Chef Kenshin. So that leads us to the why. Why would Bobby tell us this information yet continue to have Chef Kenshin as the host for this cooking show? Wait a minute. This show is not real. What? In episode 5 of Cooking with Kenshin, the 800k subscribers fried chicken special, during the dishes intermission, we are explicitly told by Bobby that the show is not real. Bobby is warning us to report Chef Kenshin to the police, that he's psychotic, and that he is a threat to us. It was already implied in episode 4 that Chef Kenshin is a violent criminal, as the dishes intermission told us that there were bodies in his basement. But how is this show not real? Clearly the footage that we are watching must be real, and if it really weren't, there'd be no reason to add these messages and watch some crazy psycho talk to a camera for 10 to 20 minutes. What I think Bobby is trying to say is that the show is acting as some sort of cover-up. You might think that this sounds crazy, but I believe that this show, Cooking with Kenshin, is a ploy devised by Bobby in order to monitor the psychotic criminal that is Chef Kenshin and warn the people that watch this show to avoid him at all costs. Numerous times throughout the show, we are told that Chef Kenshin is a wanted criminal, or has bodies hiding somewhere, and it's also been reported that he has been linked to 27 missing person cases, yet never charged because of a lack of evidence. Perhaps Bobby is attempting to warn the people that watch this show because despite being a wanted criminal, there doesn't seem to be any evidence that links Chef Kenshin to his crimes, and Bobby wants to make sure that as many people as possible will know the threat that he poses to society. Remember how I said this show could be used as a way to observe Chef Kenshin? Don't you think it's weird how at the beginning of almost every episode we're able to see Chef Kenshin before the actual show starts? We are getting glimpses into the dark life of Chef Kenshin that involve him playing Fallout, or playing Xbox with a PlayStation 4 controller, or commenting about a booty that looks like she was smuggling a box of Pop-Tarts. Okay, sure, none of these activities seem indicative of a criminal, and that's really part of the problem with Bobby's claims. But we are able to observe some of Chef Kenshin's violent tendencies when he's on the show. In episode 6, the pancake episode, Chef Kenshin makes a joke about not using pre-made pancake mix, yet doesn't get a reaction out of it. In response to this, Chef Kenshin threatens the live studio audience to laugh, and they finally start laughing.
This dude Cory is just about to make pancakes out the box. No. Sorry, Aunt Jemima, but today you ain't a mina. Laugh.
Shortly after, Chef Kenshin realizes that there's no ingredients in the pantry and gets angry at Bobby while demanding the audience to sit down and not go anywhere.
Let's just, Bobby, where's the ingredients? You asked me to come back here and the junk not stocked up. No, sit down. None of y'all leaving. We gonna deal with this. Now, Bobby, explain to the people why we don't got the ingredients and you knew
Now, there are a couple of questions that these interactions bring up. The main ones being, is Bobby really in power here? And why would he risk the lives of the audience to be seated in front of this violent criminal? I want you to keep these questions in your mind for now because we'll get back to them soon. In episode 7, the 3 million subscribers special, Chef Kenshin messes up his lines and turns to someone off camera named Mike.
We're gonna be making a number 1, 3. That makes no sense. Mike, who wrote my lines? You know what, Mike? You have.
Regardless of the role that Mike has on the production team, Chef Kenshin decided to take out his aggression for his mistakes onto him. What's more is that the camera cuts once Chef Kenshin starts to approach Mike, with him saying, "You had ...
Who wrote my lines? You know what, Mike? You have.
It almost sounds like Chef Kenshin is saying, "You had it coming." Now, we don't know what kind of history Chef Kenshin has with Mike to have instigated this outburst, but this clip does at the very least show that Chef Kenshin was about to take some serious action on the show live. Thankfully, we do know that Mike was alive after this cut, when someone happened to fart in the studio while the camera's lens was closed.
You want me to show you something? Yeah. Close your freaking eyes, you bum. Mike, was that you? Who the freak just did that? Yo, somebody in the studio audience is foul. Hold up.
In the following episode, the 7 million subscribers special, Chef Kenshin looks at the camera and asks the audience if they've washed their hands, and watch what happens.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop right there. Did you wash your hands, mister? Oh, Timmy. What did I tell you about not washing your hands? Go wash your freaking hands, you nasty. We're touching on clean food with your dirty freaking hands.
So not only do we learn the name of the, or one of the cameramen, Chef Kenshin's immediate response to him not having washed his hands is pulling out a shotgun and pointing it straight at him, ordering him to do it. This is full on exposing Chef Kenshin's violent tendencies and capturing evidence to help with Bobby's claims. If the police can't seem to get evidence to trial Chef Kenshin for his crimes, then perhaps Bobby is trying to provoke him to capture evidence on camera so that there is proof that action needs to be taken against him. Now, while Bobby's motivation might be coming from a sense of justice, his methods are incredibly dangerous and actively put the lives of other people in danger. And while I would say this is carelessness on his end, watch how Jimmy reacts when being threatened by Chef Kenshin.
Oh, Timmy. What did I tell you about not washing your hands? Go wash your freaking hands, you nasty. We're touching on clean food with your dirty freaking hands.
That's not a reaction out of fear, but rather one of disappointment or annoyance, like Jimmy is feeling bothered by being told to wash his hands. Any normal person would probably be shaking or rushing when being threatened at point-blank range, but Jimmy is sulking here, almost like he doesn't care about the threat or take it seriously. Why is that? Do the other people that work on this show have the same attitude about these threats? Actually, pay attention to the audience whenever Chef Kenshin makes a bad joke or is dancing.
This dude Cory is just about to make pancakes out the box. No. Sorry, Aunt Jemima, but today you ain't a mina.
They're all unimpressed. They're nonchalant. Almost like they too have no interest in entertaining Chef Kenshin's antics and don't take him seriously. Why would all of these people as part of the production not care about being in such a close vicinity to a violent criminal who's one slip up away from committing murder? Well, if Bobby is the person that runs the whole production, he must have handpicked people that he knew would be up to the task of facing this facade and making sure that Chef Kenshin does not try to escape or be seen as a good person. And it's pretty funny to think that all of the staff have worked with Chef Kenshin for so long that they're numb to his violent tendencies and treat it as an annoyance. There's another part of it too, because while using this show to get evidence on Chef Kenshin might be an effective strategy without him realizing it, I don't know if that's the full answer as to why Bobby continues to keep him on the show. It feels like there's something more to it. And you know, why is Bobby so insistent on the Cooking with Kenshin show running so smoothly if it's not even real? Now, sure, you could argue that it's so Chef Kenshin doesn't realize the production isn't real, but why would Bobby force Chef Kenshin to buy his own ingredients in half of the episodes of the show if the goal is to have the show running smoothly?
Oh, I knew you'd be back. You just couldn't resist.
Hello?
What the freak is going on? Why are you sitting at home, huh?
You fired me. What are you saying, fam?
You got all these samurai waiting for you to cook, you know that?
Oh my gosh. The reason why Chef Kenshin continues to be brought back on the show is because of us. The people who are watching this show continue to be oblivious to Chef Kenshin's criminal history despite the warnings and outbursts on the show because they love the show. They keep asking for more Cooking with Kenshin. Instead of warning the people of what a terrible person Chef Kenshin is, this show is having the opposite effect of what Bobby wanted and is the reason why he can't stop making it. This must also be the reason why Bobby includes the recordings before the show and the shopping trips. It's all because people want more of Chef Kenshin. Bobby knows he can't do anything to Chef Kenshin, because without him, the show stops, and without the show, there's no chance to get evidence to make him pay for his crimes. Take a look in the 3 million subscribers special episode where Bobby threatens Chef Kenshin with a shotgun.
You know what, Bobby? I'm getting sick of all the bullying. You knew I hit 3 mil. You knew I was making a cake. Where the supplies at, huh? Huh? Studio audience, sit down. Nobody's going anywhere. Sit the freak down. Bobby, where's the ingredients? Cake, lasagna. Okay. You're gonna do this here? Just like this, huh? Huh? Go ahead. You're a big, strong man. Pull the trigger. We got a studio audience.
Bobby is so close to pulling the trigger, but he knows he can't, or everything he's worked for will be lost. That is the dark reason why Cooking with Kenshin continues to be made despite having an obviously violent criminal as its star. Or, well, used to be made. I mean, there hasn't been a new episode in about 6 years, so yeah. Oh, there's still more video runtime?
Living by myself is, well, still hard. Being unable to cook makes it even harder. We've made some progress, however, we still got a lot to go. The journey to become the best chef continues. My name is Cory Kenshin, and welcome to Cooking with Kenshin. My name is Cory Kenshin. My name is Cory Kenshin. My name is Cory Kenshin.
My name is Cory Kenshin.
Okay, I neglected to talk about this very glaring contradiction that fundamentally shakes up my entire argument. And that's that Chef Kenshin is Cory Kenshin? Literally in every single episode of Cooking with Kenshin, the host introduces himself as Cory. So is this person that hosts the show the same as the persona that is Cory Kenshin? Maybe it's just a crazy coincidence. First of all, we know that Cory in real life is in his 30s, yet Chef Kenshin has a record of existing long before Cory was born. His arrest in 1984 and him being wanted for murder since 1994 prove that. Far be it from me to say, but I doubt a 2-year-old could be wanted for murder, much less intentionally kill someone. And I think it would be pretty crazy if some 24 million subscriber YouTuber was a convicted felon with multiple murder charges and we were all just cool with it. But if the names are just a coincidence, then why does Chef Kenshin keep referring to subscriber counts in every episode of the show? Isn't this supposed to be framed like a normal episodic show on TV? Now, sure, maybe Chef Kenshin was told that this series would be airing or uploaded onto YouTube. I mean, YouTube Red existed, so. But every time Chef Kenshin refers to the subscriber count of the channel, it's the same amount of subscribers that Cory Kenshin has. Why would Chef Kenshin, who should be completely unrelated to Cory, be correlating those subscribers to his show? Maybe it's just an in-universe thing where the show itself also happens to have a very big following on YouTube, and we could even explain away the pre-show scenes by just saying that Chef Kenshin also has a hobby for gaming. But you wanna know what contradicts that?
Bring back Cooking with Kenshin.
Bring it back, Cooking with Kenshin. I thought I played G-Dash.
I thought I played G-Dash. As in, Chef Kenshin referring to himself as having played the game Geometry Dash for a video recently in relation to the time of this episode. Why would a violent convicted felon chef upload YouTube videos about gaming? And what's more, nearly all of the comments are asking for Cory Kenshin to make a new Cooking with Kenshin episode. Even if Chef Kenshin's first name is Cory, he mostly refers to himself as Chef Kenshin during the show. Why would Chef Kenshin and the people around him constantly make references to the Cory X Kenshin channel unless he actually believes that he is Cory X Kenshin? We have to prove whether or not Chef Kenshin is delusional or if he really is Cory Kenshin. But how can we definitively prove that?
Hello, friends. My name is Cory Kenshin. And today I'm going to share with you why fall is my most favorite season. Follow me.
Oh my gosh. The intro to the fall-themed mini-episode literally starts with the host announcing himself as Cory Kenshin, and the editors label him as Cory X Kenshin. And we know that this is canon to the Cooking with Kenshin show because Cory makes a reference to it himself in the episode.
Alright, so this is gonna be like a little, Cooking with Kenshin mini episode, because I'm actually not cooking.
Not only does Cory refer to this as a mini episode, he even says that he's not actually cooking for this episode. Why would the Cory Kenshin refer to himself as the host of the show if he wasn't secretly or openly Chef Kenshin? And remember, this edit at the beginning of the episode had to be intentional and finalized by Bobby, literally confirming to the viewers that who we are watching right now is Cory Kenshin. Bobby is such a stickler when it comes to this show, and I can't imagine that he would randomly have a celebrity replacement as a host, even for a mini episode, especially when there's no reason to monitor someone who isn't a criminal. Which must mean that the threat that we've had to worry about this whole time is actually Cory Kenshin, and him and Chef Kenshin are one and the same. Okay, but is Cory actually a criminal? And what about the contradictions of his criminal record and real-life age? Throughout this whole video, I've been theorizing about Chef Kenshin's history, the production front of the show, and proving Chef Kenshin's real identity. But I am about to turn all of this around and prove to you that Cory Kenshin is actually innocent. Have you ever wondered how during the Cooking with Kenshin show there are some things that seem to be unrealistic? Like the presence of a narrator in the earlier episodes of the show that is somehow able to talk to Cory in real time?
So how you feeling today, Cory? You feeling pretty good?
Feeling pretty good, yeah.
Well, good. You ready for some Cory X cooking?
Or how in episode 6, Cory managed to put biscuit balls underneath the entire audience's seats.
Everyone check under your seats. There are biscuit balls for everyone. Yeah.
Or in episode 8, when the footage cut to a disturbing picture of Cory. All of these can be explained away with one final indisputable evidence.
So basically, all I'm gonna be doing is tasting each snack.
It's okay. It just took me all day to stack these properly. Take your pill.
Take your pills. This whole time, all of the violent outbursts have been attempted to be controlled through medication. There are so many instances of Cory being upset on camera, and it's only reasonable that he'd want to find a way to help in managing it.
Where's the ingredients? You asked me to come back here and the junk not stocked up. No, sit down. None of y'all leaving. We gonna deal with this.
You need to let it go now. I know you have to thaw meat.
That makes no sense. Mike, who wrote my lines? You know what, Mike? You have. Oh, Timmy. What did I tell you about not washing your hands? Go wash your freaking hands, you nasty. We're touching on clean food with your dirty freaking hands. So basically, all I'm gonna be doing is tasting these snacks.
It's okay. Just took me the whole thing to stop me properly.
Take your pill.
Medication can sometimes be used in the process of anger management therapy, and this can include drugs like antidepressants and benzodiazepines, both of which have a rare side effect of hallucinations. What if Cory's medication is causing hallucinations that make him dream up the entire Cooking with Kenshin show? It would explain why he talks to a narrator that sounds the exact same as him at the beginning of episodes, why he's tried to create an alter ego that isn't completely separate from him, why there are strange creepy edits of what's supposed to be a wholesome show, how it's possible to have a live studio audience this big in a household that clearly can't fit that many, and it would explain the reasoning behind all of the angry and violent tendencies that we've seen from him in the show. Remember, this show is not real. It's all in his mind. For now, this is where the Cooking with Kenshin story ends. This is the Cooking with Kenshin conspiracy theory. Thank you for watching.